I'm Dr. Keller, and I'm one of the vets here at Four Paws, and today we're going to talk about heat exhaustion and heat stroke in our dogs here. So while heat stroke can occur in the hottest days of summer when we would typically think about getting overheated, it is actually most common in dogs in the spring and early summer when the days have just turned to warmer weather and everybody wants to get outside and be outside, play with the dogs. That's when we actually need to be especially cautious. Dogs' body temperatures haven't quite acclimated to the warmer temperatures of the season yet, so that's when we need to be careful when we're outside playing ball with them in the fields. Normal rectal temperature in a dog is about 101.5 degrees. We consider a dog to be overheated or experiencing heat stroke generally when the temperature gets to be about 105. We can see excessive panting, the dog can collapse. If their body temperature remains too high for too long, it actually can cause brain injury and organ failure. So we do need to be especially careful when we're outside playing with them. It is important to remember that while the point of this video is to prevent heat stroke in dogs, that if you do suspect that a dog has become too overheated when outside, if you see the excessive panting, collapse, very red tongue or gums, or if they're not responding or they're sort of staggering when they're walking, that you want to contact a Four Paws staff member immediately. Next, we're going to have Jessa go over signs of how to appropriately monitor the dogs when you're outside running with them in the field.
Hi, I'm Jessa. I'm head trainer here at Four Paws for Ability. This is Rizzo, and we're going to teach you guys about summer running safety for the dogs. So Rizzo here is a pretty excitable dog. He really loves his ball, so he's going to get worn out faster than some other dogs who aren't quite as excitable. So one of the most important things when running your dog, especially in summer, is that they can get overheated pretty quickly, which, as you guys have learned from Dr. Keller, is a pretty big deal. So one of the things that we're going to do is when we throw the ball for him, we're going to check his tongue in between every toss of the ball to check and see and make sure he hasn't gotten too hot. So this is Rizzo before our run has started. You can see his mouth is open. He's panting a teeny bit, but his tongue is not sticking far out of his mouth. And it's light and pink, and it's just over the tips of his teeth. Another pause. After each toss, his tongue sticks out a little bit further, but he's still in the green zone. Tongue's still looking good. Some dogs get really excited waiting for their ball, and their tongue will actually hold still a little more. So if you wait a little longer, they'll kind of relax and you'll get a better view of how long his tongue is actually sticking out. Now see, his tongue now is sticking out a good probably inch or so, and the very edges are just starting to curl a tiny bit. So this is the beginning of starting to watch for a couple more tosses before we wrap it up. You can see this round how his tongue is starting to curl a teeny bit more, and it's hanging out pretty good, about an inch or so. So he could maybe do one more toss, maybe two at most, but he could also be wrapped up here too. So here I kept going with him a couple more tosses so you can see when it really becomes too much. His tongue is definitely sticking out a good inch and a half or so. It's definitely starting to curl on the edges. He's panting really hard. If you hadn't stopped already, this is definitely when you definitely need to be stopping. But ideally, you would stop a bit before this.